What's up, guys? Dodger 95 here. And I actually tore apart this punch to do a little bit of a video. I'm not really going to get super technical in it because I do not have an engineering degree nor understand exactly how this is manufactured. But I'll try my best to explain how this thing is set up and how it works. So, as you can tell, it's manufactured in a brass casing. It is 5 inches in length, I believe. Let me grab my one tape measure up here. So, yeah. So it's 5 inches in length. All right. And how this works is just like any other punch that you use. You have your point that it makes an indentation into your steel. So what you'll do is say, I want to put a point right here. I'll push down and listen for the pop. So you do that 3 or 4 times, or 2, however many times, depending on how hard the steel is. Now, I don't have these perfectly in line, so I'm probably going to redo this point here or come down. But this piece of flat stock, I'm actually going to be trying to make something that I can use to make rivet heads for when I go to, or when I decide to start doing some metal working, especially for a softer material like sheet metal. Brass is a decent soft metal, aluminum, but the only downside to a lot of those is they work harden. So say I'm working on this steel, and as I'm working it, it gets harder and harder and harder from whatever I'm doing, whether that be applying heat or hammering or just in general shaping it. So I'll take this back, I'll move this out of the way and start taking this back apart. Okay. Now, if you guys know anything about propane tanks, they are a left-hand thread. So you got to turn them right. Actually, no. You got to turn them left to tighten. But, so, yeah. Left-handed thread, you turn it left to tighten, right to loosen. And I'll try and go about how each of these parts are. And actually, before I started recording, I even tried to take this spring off, but I couldn't get it to move. Okay. Pull my little caliper out here. I have it set in millimeter. I can also, it's metric and standard, so zero it out. This thing does not like to move too smoothly. I need to go to a metal one, not a plastic. But the shank at the widest portion, excluding the end here, is approximately 4 mil, well, 3.9 to 4 mil. And the bulbous end of it being roughly 6.7. I'm not sure really what this portion is called, but the widest point of the shank being a 4.8. I do that periodically to make sure it's still zeroed out or set up properly. And if I could get that spring off, I'd be able to get a better measurement of how wide the smallest point. So it's about 3 mil at the narrowest point for that. The inside width of the brass. Oh, you go this way. Being about 8.8 to 9 mil. And something that you notice I haven't taken off here is this little rubber gasket or washer. So I will reassemble this little bit here. The midsection let's stretch it out here. Being we'll say 46 mil in length, and even the knurled portion being about 12.4 mil. Interior diameter 8.5 mil. And something I didn't know for the longest time since I've had this, until someone explained it to me or showed me, that it actually came apart like this. Now, I'm going to refer to this as a slug. There could be a better and different name for it, but I'm going to refer to it as a slug. It is chamfered on both ends. 8 mil diameter by 15.7 mil length. The inside of this little hole it's about 3 mil. Oh, actually, let me see if I can get that a little tighter. Yeah, 3.4 mil. I'm not sure exactly how deep that is since I don't have a depth gauge. So let's pop that little bugger back in. And of course, it has 2 springs, both varying length, but I didn't measure the other one like an idiot. About 39 mil length, and it's for someone who doesn't know, there's different styles of springs. Like this is a compression spring, and one that I actually have hanging up over here is a different style, where as you see, each winding is spaced here on the compression, and this one, they're all tightly woven together. So as it stretches out, gaps will form between each turn, and that's what allows it to have a pulling force instead of a pushing force. But 39 mil length. And a 5.6 or maybe a 5.8 mil diameter, or inside diameter. Outside diameter, we'll say 7.4 mil, maybe a 7.5. And of course, have the very end of it but for this little bugger, I like it because it does what I need it to do, and I really ain't had no problems with it. Other than occasionally, I will go to the bench grinder and redo the tip so it is a little more pointed versus, if the camera will focus, versus that slight cone and point. So if you guys have any questions about this very punch, let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys for tuning in.